In this video, we're going to talk about the Sony A7 III and whether or not this is a vlogging camera. Hey YouTube, hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to another video here at Cinematic Diaries. My name's Justin, and today we're going to talk about the Sony A7 III. I've had this camera for well over a year now. If you haven't seen the video that I made recently, I'm gonna link it right here. So if you haven't seen that, I encourage you to check that out as well. Yeah, I've been using it now for well over a year, both for vlogging and professional work. I have a few clients that I work with on the side, and I make regular content for them, and this thing is perfect for that. It's dependable, it's rugged, it gives a really good quality image, and it's trustworthy. I just love it. It's a great DSLR camera. And anytime I have a photo shoot or if I go on a trip, I'm definitely bringing the Sony A7 III. Like I said, it takes really good video, but also the photography on it. I feel comfortable and confident when I'm shooting photos with this thing because I know I'm gonna get at least a decent shot. It might not be the best, but it's still gonna look really good. So jumping right on in, is this camera a vlogging camera? The answer to that question is yes. But the answer to that question is also no. It just depends on you. It depends on what works best for you, what your setup is, what your goals are, what your style is. For me personally, I don't do as much vlogging as I used to, and I have this right here, the Canon 77D that I'm shooting on now. I also have the Canon G7X, and then my iPhone. My first vlogs I ever made were filmed on an iPhone. The quality was not good, neither was the audio, but it worked at the time. It's all I had, and I had fun with it. I had fun making it. But nowadays, I'm shooting on something a little bit more heavy duty and something that also has generated revenue and income for me since I purchased it. And on top of that, most of the content I'm making for my YouTube channels is stuff like this. I want to be able to give information. I want to be able to give good value to the person that's watching this video, and so that when they click on it, they're invested and then they leave better in some way, right? Depending on why they clicked on the video in the first place. As opposed to just a vlog of me going to the movies or to the grocery store, no one really is going to care about that, you know, unless you have a massive following. Most people are probably not. Does that mean that you shouldn't do it? No, absolutely not. I still make videos just like that. My wife and I have a YouTube channel where we do DIY projects, but we also film some of our travels. Recently, we were in the Great Smoky Mountains hiking, and we made a couple of videos on that. I just love making those videos, and that's really for me more so than anyone. But because I love being able to go back and watch those videos. So we took a trip to DC back in October, and I like going back and watching it because I can remember it, and it's nostalgic for me, and it was a good time, and you want to relive that to a degree. So it's not just for other people, but it's also for myself. So whether or not the Sony A7 III is a good vlogging camera is going to heavily depend on what it is that you do and what it is that you make. Now, this by means is not an in-depth review of the Sony A7 III. I don't even know if I could make that video because there's so much about this camera. I would have to research and study and all of that to be able to do justice to a good video. So if you're looking for that, I'm sure there's something out there. I really want to weigh the pros and cons of its vloggability. So the first thing, let's just kind of talk about the pros. As I said before, it's got a really good image. It's got a really good quality image. It's 4K, which is the reason why I bought it in the first place. So it has that capability, but even at 1080p, it's something that I can trust is going to look good, and I'm going to feel proud of it when I put it out, right? Another pro to it would be its durability. It's a very sturdy, strong camera. I accidentally dropped this Canon 77D a couple of years ago and just cracked. It was like, what the crap? But this, I feel safer with it. Not that I'm going to be careless with it necessarily, but if I did drop it, I have confidence to know that it's maybe not going to get damaged unless I have it on like this terrible Joby Gorilla Pod and it's sitting on the balcony of a 10-story building, which why would you do that in the first place, and it fell off. It would definitely not survive that. Additionally, another pro is the capabilities of the 120 frames a second, which is not on any of the other gear that I have. Another positive is I can still be inconspicuous, low-key, if I wanted to take this camera into a public place and I felt uncomfortable with vlogging. I wouldn't use a tripod, and I might not use the big fluffy microphone, right? I might just straight up use the external mic and then just hold it out like this. I've got long arms, so I have that capability, and that's usually how I do vlog. However, it does get a little heavy, and we'll touch base on that here in a minute. But I think we can all kind of, we all understand how it feels to be vlogging in public around people. And that's why I bought this Canon G7X a few years ago, because of how small it was, inconspicuous. You just throw it up like that and you vlog and you do your thing, and then it's good. Or even just your phone. Your phone can do magnificent things, especially the iPhone 11. But still, I trust that even if I do just go straight up, raw like this with no microphone, no tripod, it's still gonna get a good image and pretty good sound as well. I might have to tweak it in post a little bit, and I have to be a little bit more aware of where I am, especially if I'm outside and it's really windy. I might want to change my location. Those are things you have to think about, but it's dependable in that I could go without it and be okay with that, right? So those are some things I think that make it a really good vlogging camera, and I'm going to continue to use it as a vlogging camera just like some of my other gear. But there are a few things that might make it not a vlogging camera. Number one is it's kind of heavy. I'm definitely not ever going to use this Gorilla Pod with the Sony A7iii. It's just never going to happen. This thing is just not dependable. And if I ever set it up or like tried to wrap it around a tree or something, it's not a good idea. Just don't do it. And then on top of that, when you're vlogging like this, like after a good 30 seconds, your arm is going to get tired. And so if you find a video of me vlogging on this channel, more than likely you're going to see me switch hands within like a good 30 seconds, okay? Another key feature that makes it not a vlogging camera, that's as far as the LCD screen goes. And you can't do that. It just doesn't work. It's not like that. It's not like the camera I'm using now. What I typically end up doing if I am in a vlogging situation, I'll set my exposure and my white balance facing the direction that I'm going to be standing. So I'll set it, and then I'll go stand in the frame, and then I'll vlog, and then I'll just review the footage. So it takes like an extra 10 seconds. Whatever. I don't do a whole lot of vlogging like that anyway, so it's fine. And vlogging is meant to be raw and rough anyway, so if something is like out of focus or it's a bit overexposed, most people I think will forgive that, and I try to forgive myself for that as well if something is, and it sometimes is. So yeah, while the LCD screen is not a deal breaker, it does make it hard to vlog, and you can't see yourself. You don't know if there's something on your face or if you're in focus, and yeah, it just kind of complicates the process. And then lastly, I would say the price point is kind of another disadvantage to this being a vlogging camera. It was for the lens and the camera body, which this lens is the Sigma 24mm 1.4. Both of these combined for me, I got it for about $2,100, something around there. I would never have bought this 6-7 years ago when I started making vlogs. I would not have been able to justify it. Trying to build a YouTube channel, make videos, make content, it didn't make sense at the time. I didn't have the money to do that. Now there might be somebody out there that does, and that's cool. Go for it. Get the best quality camera you can. If you're wanting to start a YouTube channel, if you want to start vlogging, making videos, go for it. But if you're just like 15, 16 years old and you don't have any money whatsoever, or let's just say you have a couple $100, get something like this, something like this Canon G7X, that flip LCD screen. It's got a good image, it's dependable, it's cheap, it works, or if you're like, hey, I don't really feel like I'm gonna make a lot of money off of my camera, I just want to make fun videos with my kids, or I want to make a channel about fashion or something like that, and just for fun, then yeah, absolutely, don't spend $2,000 on this. But if you're like, I'm really into gear and I want a really good image and I want 4K and I want like the dope banger 120 frames a second, and I've been making videos for this client and that client, and I've got a little bit of money saved up, and I want to get a really good camera, like, should I get the Sony A7 III? Go for it, absolutely. Yeah, like, it's a really dope camera, and you can still vlog with it. It's great. You can use it for whatever you want to use it for. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope that this video was helpful. Is this a vlogging camera? Absolutely it is. Once again, it's personal preference. It depends on what you're gonna use it for, what your style is, and you gotta think about that stuff, and you gotta figure that stuff out. And once you get into your niche and your groove, I think it's gonna make things a lot easier for you. So I hope this video was helpful. If you did enjoy it, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content just like this in the future. All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys in the next video.